We're gonna make some banana bread. I saw someone post recently on TikTok that they had some failed banana bread recipe. I've been doing the same recipe for 35 years, 40 years. I can't remember how long. I even have the recipe memorized, or I used to have the recipe memorized. I'm not remembering exactly how much milk I'm supposed to use, but I think it's half a cup, but I remember everything else. The first thing you're gonna hear people say is you must use overripe bananas. You must use overripe bananas. It makes a better banana bread. And I disagree. You want ripe bananas, but not overripe. These I just picked up from the store. They were just coming into ripe. They've been bruised a little bit, just coming in the bag and carrying them home, but they are not yet turning brown. They are just ripe. So we're gonna use 3 bananas. I don't care what the recipe says. 3 large bananas is what I use. I don't know how many cups it is. I don't know how much, whatever it is. It's 3 large bananas. See, not overripe at all, just ripe. You don't want them green, but you do want them ripe. I mash the bananas. Use a potato masher. You can mash them however you want. I don't puree them. I like them to be a little bit irregular. If there are some chunks, that leaves some delicious kind of open, chunky pockets full of banana flavor. Recipe I used called for vegetable oil or vegetable shortening. I think it's a 1/4 cup. I'm going to just put about a 1/4 cup in there. You can soften this in the microwave. I do want this to be liquidized, but I don't want it to be hot such that it starts to cook the bananas or the eggs. So I'm going to toss it in the toaster oven for a couple minutes. While we're waiting for that to melt, we'll do the dry ingredients. 1 3/4 cup of flour. I just sort of do one cup, and then I just sort of estimate 3/4 of a cup. You know, people say in baking you're supposed to be real precise, but I find that banana bread is not that particular. 2/3 cup sugar. And I'm just gonna wing it, a little more than a half, not quite 3/4. Half a teaspoon of baking soda. 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder. And some salt. The salt gives it a little extra boost of that banana flavor. So you need a little bit of salt. For these, I'm just going to sort of whisk them together, sift them together. I don't really do any sifting the way a pastry chef might. I just sort of whisk the dry ingredients together so that they kind of get all mixed up before I add them to the wet ingredients. So 5 ingredients that are dry, 4 ingredients that are wet. I really don't want this to be cooking anything, so I'm just going to soften it up and stir it up, liquidize it a little bit more. Some recipes call for butter. I've never put butter in mine. I've always used vegetable shortening, whether Crisco or now Spectrum shortening. 1/4 cup of oil. I'm gonna mix this in before I add the eggs just to help distribute some of that heat in case there's any heat. I don't want the eggs to cook. And 2 eggs. Again, I can't quite remember how much milk. That's the one thing I don't remember. It's been a while since I've made it. I'm pretty sure it's half a cup, but if it's not, I'll add more. We'll just sort of get that all mixed in before we add the dry ingredients. Some recipes say make a bowl in the dry ingredients and add your wet ingredients to the bowl. I just dump it all in there and start mixing. And I just mix with a fork. No need to get any special tools out, blender, anything. You want those big chunks of bananas to still stay as big chunks. And this looks like it might be right. Some people add nutmeg. I don't do any nutmeg. Some people add walnuts to their banana bread. I am the anti-nuts in my desserts and breads. I like some nuts plain, but I usually don't like them in things. No walnuts in my banana bread. No walnuts in my carrot cake. None of that. Yeah, this looks right. Okay. I like to bake my banana bread in a glass baking dish. You can use whatever one works for you. Because I'm using a glass baking dish, I'm going to grease the pan and then I'm going to line it with flour. So same thing with that Crisco or shortening, vegetable shortening. Just line all the sides with that. And a dash of flour. Shake that around. I'm gonna do this over the sink. That's it. My pan's all done. Sometimes I'll make this into mini muffins using some metal mini muffin tins, but this is how I usually make it, into one big loaf. Stir that up one more time. Looks like there's some activity going on. All right, then we're gonna put this in the oven, 350 degrees until it's done. Some recipes call for the temperature in the oven to be a little bit higher. I like to slow cook mine. Maybe it's because I've had some bad ovens in the past that if it cooks too high, then it gets dark brown and burnt on top. Well, it's not still fully cooked in the middle. You'll know it's done when you stick a fork in and there is some liquid material inside, but you don't want it to be 100% dry all the way through, because if it's 100% dry all the way through, when you set it on the stove to cool down for 15-20 minutes, it continues to cook. So you want it slightly underdone when you pull it out of the oven so that it continues to cook those last few minutes on the stove as it cools down. Banana bread. All right, I don't know how long it's been in the oven, but it's time to test it. And that actually looks pretty done. Poking it in there, and there's a little bit of softness there, but that's going to continue to finish cooking here on the counter while it cools. It's done. Banana bread. All right, let's break this open. Sometimes it helps to just run a little butter knife around the outside, free everything up, just to give it a better chance of popping out cleanly. But it always pops out cleanly. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh man, it smells good too. Beautiful banana bread. Oh, that looks delicious. Look at that. And this is where I like it, where it's got some big chunks of banana there and some variations. Oh man, it smells so good. Oh, it's delicious. I like to eat it plain, but I like to slather butter on it and eat it with a slab of butter on. It's very good. Perfect.